Hi, ladies. Thank you for tuning in to our docu-series, Tell the Truth on Your Identity. Today, we'll be speaking with Anansa as she shares her story of identity and truth with us. But without further ado, here's Anansa.
Hello everyone. As she said, my name is Anansa. I am 40 years old. Currently, I live in the Maryland area, originally from Brooklyn. Family is Caribbean based, Guyanese and Barbados, from Barbados. I currently don't have any children. I have a dog. I work in local DC government. And in my spare time, you can find me making body products, wrapping crystals, and doing hair. I am single. I think I mentioned that, but if I didn't, I am single. I'm single for quite some time now, but I am currently in therapy, working on a couple of things, addressing some things that have happened in my past life, like growing up and stuff, dealing with some trauma. So that's where I am right now in 2020, being 40.
Yes, I'm with you. I'm your girl in therapy too. We got to
Yeah.
work on it to be better. As you gone through your journey growing up and going into therapy, was there anything within your experience that kind of helped shape who you are today?
Um, you know, some of the things that have happened to me dealing with like child abuse, molestation, things of that nature at a young age, you kind of question why that would happen to you. It doesn't make sense. But I realized that, oddly as it may sound, that it happened, and it happened to me, and I've met so many people that it's happened to, and I have been able to either help them or to lead them to know that therapy is okay for Black people, especially Black women, that some of the things that they may face and they may not understand, it might be a reason that they experience that. And even though I am still trying to search as to why that would happen to me, I know I just come in contact with so many people that are dealing with that trauma. So sometimes they look at me, and when I say it's happened to me too, then they're shocked and they're thinking, well, if you've made it this far, then I can make it as well. So that's the little sunshine, I guess, on that.
Most of the time with stuff like that, especially that kind of trauma, people feel left out. When you were
Mhm.
going through that as a young age, how did you really process that? Just
I didn't know how to process it. I was very angry. I just remember not really, I had an issue with authority, teachers, things of that nature. But yet I was raised in such a strict household that I couldn't really express myself. So I think when I left the house, that's when I really did. I had friends, but never felt close to anyone. I'm still kind of the same way now. Like I have a lot of friends, but I never really feel super close to people. I guess because you still can't trust. If a family member violates you, then that kind of messes up everything on how your relationships, how you view relationships moving forward.
absolutely, I couldn't imagine.
Hmm.
So just growing up, when you finally get into that place where you can actually process it and really kind of look back on what was going on, how did it make you view yourself?
um, I would say that throughout my life, I knew I had this issue that happened to me at a young age, and then throughout, you know, my teenage years, and then even up until I was about the last incident, I was 35, where someone violated me.
Um,
And I want to say when I moved out of my family's home and I was living by myself and taking care of me and really adulting, I really had to deal with it because I guess one stressor would lead to something else. And eventually I had to deal with the source.
yeah,
Um, I would say it just made me feel like not worthy, not deserving. Like you don't know where that's really coming from. But at the end of the day, especially when you go to therapy, you realize a lot of things are from your foundation.
absolutely.
So if you're being told something when you're young or whatever, you don't realize that that continues with you as you become an adult. You don't realize that something simple as like parents telling you money don't grow on trees. You
Yeah,
don't realize you have a certain attitude towards money. So if someone is making you feel less than or violating you, you don't realize that that is it's continuing to manifest in other relationships. So you might not feel as worthy or feel like you deserve to be with a certain type of guy, or you don't deserve a certain type of love, or you feel like it's more normal to be in dysfunction because you grew up in dysfunction. So it's like trying to break that down and realize that's not okay.
Yeah.
So looking back and where I am now, I'm happy where I am now, but I do see that I still have a lot of work to do.
You're a strong woman. Absolutely. Like, I just appreciate you just sharing your experience and just being vulnerable with us, because there's a lot of women who have been through similar situations and just saying, like, you know, I've been through it too,
Yeah.
that it makes them not feel alone.
Right.
As you begin to unpack those things that you've learned, because I think the whole process of just growing is having to unlearn everything that you experience. But we
Right.
feel like just unpacking those things and really just saying, like, you know, this is what I've been through, but this is not who I am.
It's one of those things where I've unpacked it, and then I feel like because I've unpacked it, I don't need to even touch it anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm just learning that it's a part of me. Like, I don't want to say it's who I am, but it is a part of me. It's what happened to me, and as much as I try not to think about it, like I realize that no amount of alcohol, no amount of weed, no amount of sex, nothing will actually erase it. So I do have to deal with it and know that it is a part of me, and then understanding my triggers, understanding my comfort level, understanding certain things that other people might think that be, I might be coming off as a prude, that I'm not being a prude. It's about me being comfortable. Um, so it's like knowing that I have to unpack it, but sometimes I still have to unpack what's unpacked. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I already addressed that. Why do I have to address it again? And sometimes in therapy, I'm like, today I'm not crying. So whatever you're trying to do, I ain't trying to deal with it. And the therapist,
Absolutely.
it's not about crying. It's really, just trying to deal with it. So some days I'm for dealing with it, and some days I don't even want to go there
Yeah.
because I know it's gonna put me in a state that I don't really want to be in that day.
I love that you say that sometimes it's okay not to want to unpack. Do you feel
Mhm.
like in going through therapy and really just like evaluating everything, is there like a level of self-care or self-love that you had to practice to like make sure that you're okay?
Yes, yes. I have to sometimes when you go into sessions, or even if I'm not even in therapy or I'm home, and sometimes you just get images,
Yeah.
and I have to sometimes say, I don't want to deal with that today. And I have to think of something positive. Or when I'm in therapy, I'm very front and honest. And I'm not trying to slow down the therapy sessions or anything. I just know that when therapy is done, I still have to go back
Yeah.
into my world
That's
and deal
everything.
with my life. And some days I just don't want to deal with it because it's either going to put me in a place that I'm going to be really angry, and I'm going to be looking at every guy like, and I don't want to do that. So sometimes I feel like it's okay to say I don't want to go there. Like I said, it's a part of me. It's really not going to go anywhere. So I just don't want to deal with it today. And today I'm able to talk about it, and I'm fine. And tomorrow I might not want to talk about it, because at the end of the day, it's a part of me and it's not going anywhere. The only thing I'm learning is how to deal with it. To know that I'm not less than because it happened to me. To know that it does not define me. Um, Viewing myself as a survivor, not a victim. Realizing that, I was young when the first incident happened. And then even though I was older when the last incident happened, I was still in a place where I wasn't really practicing self-love. So I shouldn't have been in that situation to begin with. I'm not blaming myself, but when I look back at it, yeah, I shouldn't have been there. If I had loved myself a little more, I wouldn't have been at his house or something like that. So it's really like learning from some of the things that happened to me where I actually played my role in that whole situation. The family member definitely shouldn't have done it. It doesn't matter how I view it, or maybe I shouldn't have done it. It just shouldn't have never happened. But knowing what happened to that family member, you kind of understand why it happened to me. something happened to him, so therefore it happened to me, you know? So it could have been anyone else. It could have happened to in the family, but unfortunately it happened to him when he was really young, and then it happened to me as well. So, you know, sometimes I just learn that some days I'm going to want to talk about it, and some days I'm just not going to want to talk about it, and that's okay.
Absolutely is okay.
Yeah.
Where do you feel like you are now in like your journey of self-love and just learning to be in spaces that kind of help you be better, I guess,
Right.
and grow from where you came from?
I think I'm still on my journey. There's sometimes I feel like I may mess up, especially dealing with men. I might feel like, I think I just messed up with that one, or something that I may have done or whatever. But I'm still learning. I'm still trying to love on me extra hard. I'm still trying to forgive myself, even when I feel like I might have made a mistake.
Mhm.
I extend compassion to myself. I'm a Pisces, so I will tend to extend compassion to other people than to myself. I'm hard on myself. So I really try to be gentle with me, loving on me, spoiling myself, you know, doing things that some people might think is silly. I send myself flowers to my job. I
Hey,
don't
that's cute. Yeah.
care. Like, I'm like, you know, I want flowers. I'm gonna, you know what, I have money. I'm gonna
Yeah,
buy these flowers and send them to
exactly.
myself. Because when they come to my job, they make me smile, you know? So I do things like that, you know? So I'm still on my journey, but I'm still trying to forgive myself with things every day. I'm trying to extend compassion and grace to myself first.
Do you feel like with that forgiveness, you have to learn how to trust yourself as well, not only like the people around you, but yourself?
Yes, trusting myself. Whew, yeah, trusting myself on that. The steps that I'm taking are right. Um, Learning to lean more on God, because at some point I was really, really upset with him.
Yeah,
So trusting that he's always with me, trusting that he has my best interest at heart, trusting that I have my best interest at heart when I make a decision. So I'm still learning on that. Yeah.
yeah. With like other women that may be experiencing what you've
Mhm.
experienced or like just are on their own self-love journey, what advice would you give to them on how to get started or how to even, I don't know, just grow and kind of allow their past not to be who they are, but just a part of what their experience was?
I would say that, like for instance, I had an office mate who had experience similar to what I experienced, and it did not really affect her the same way it affected me. And like, she didn't ever have moments she thought about it really, like, and if it did, it was just different for her.
Yeah,
So, and that amazed me. But if it's something to the point that it's making you depressed, anxious, you realize that you're not really building positive relationship with men or women, um, I would always suggest therapy. That's my first thing, to talk to somebody about it, because sometimes you need to make sense of the mess that's going on in your head.
yeah,
And sometimes you need someone's point of view on what's really going on. So that would be my first thing, would be therapy. The second thing, it would be if you're self-medicating yourself with alcohol or other things. And I'm not saying I'm against alcohol or anything else, but I'm saying if you're doing that to trying to forget about what's going on, you're never going to forget about it.
yeah,
So it brings it right back to therapy to talk to someone so you can really deal with that and do some unpacking, because you can't leave that suitcase packed forever. It
true.
will eventually start to stink. So that's what I would start with first, is therapy.
Yeah, that's like the foundation. I feel like outside of therapy, do you feel like there was support that you had to seek outside of yourself, whether it be like friends or family?
Hmm. Yes and no. Because, you know, if they're not really trained in that, they can't really assist me. Everyone's different. Some people need to talk to their friends, and that's good enough. So if that works for people, that's great. For me, sometimes telling people, it's just telling your business. Like, I know I'm doing this docu series for you, so it's different. But me just telling a random stranger, it may not really,
Not resonate.
and right. But I might tell my story to someone who might have dealt with that, and me just opening up and telling them, it's like, wow, that's happened to me. And I never told anybody that happened to me because I was so embarrassed or whatever. And I try to just tell people to not feel embarrassed that it happened to them. That's the biggest thing, is to, because you want to remove that shame. Like I do talk about it freely, but I don't just like say, girl, let me tell you what happened to me when I was 3. Like I don't do that. But I might, if we're talking about stuff, I might bring it up, and I might not go too that much in depth about it, but I bring it up. And I work with a population, a homeless population, and they've been through a lot of things. And sometimes when I'm sitting there dressed for work and they're across from me and they start saying stuff and they feel a little hopeless, and I start telling them things about me, then it's like, oh, wow, okay. And then I give them some hope. So if you have that support system that you can talk to and you feel like it will be beneficial, then go right ahead. If you feel like meditating will be helpful, then go right ahead. Exercise, whatever's going to do to make that's like positive, that's going to make you feel better, then definitely engage in that. And if talking, like I said, if talking to people is helpful, then great. It wasn't that helpful for me. I think like just talking to random people or just friends. But because I remember the first time, now that I think about it, when I was college and I mentioned something, someone thought I was lying.
Really?
They told another friend, she lying, she ain't been through all that. That was hurtful. So I was like, why would they think I would just make up a story like that? So I guess talk to someone that you honestly trust, that will believe you, that could provide you some words of encouragement. And if you don't have anyone else in your support system that will be helpful, then definitely talk to a therapist. Because it's the same thing with daughters who probably might have to tell their mother that their father or brother violated them, and they may not believe them. So if you can really confide in someone that can assist you, then that to me is more helpful than just telling anyone.
I can only imagine like the strength it takes to put words to what you've been through. Was there a time where you went through shame of not feeling comfortable to speak about it? Like what took you to the level to be able to actually, share your story?
Yeah. The first time I actually shared my story, I was in college and I got drunk. I got so drunk. And then I don't remember too much, but my roommates told me that I said some things.
Yeah.
So that's the first time it ever came out to like my friends. My friends didn't even know that happened to me. So, and I think from there, the next morning when the person asked me about it, I kind of was like, what are you talking about? And they were like, you said a lot of stuff last night. And I was just like, what did I say? And then they started telling me, and they was like, is it true? And I was just like, yeah, it happened, So that was the first time. I think I've always kind of been upfront with men, though, because it was little things that I didn't realize that was happening, like them getting too close to me and me shaking, that I didn't notice I was shaking, me being intimate with them and them seeing that I was uncomfortable. So it was things that I guess I had to share, because then they felt like, is it something with them? And it wasn't them. So, I don't remember the earliest that I may have told a guy that I was dating, but I do remember the first incident of me telling friends was freshman year in college, getting drunk, and the next morning me finding out I had told a lot.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, drinking, it'll get you in some trouble.
You'll tell the truth though.
They say, think an intoxicated man speaks a sober man's mind or something like that.
Yeah. I was just talking talk.
Now, I do want to go into, because I know you mentioned like just sharing it with men while you're dating. How did you feel like it has had an impact on your dating experience?
Some positive, some negative. I felt like I have learned throughout the years that you can't really share that with men.
Yeah.
Because men will honestly use some things that you've been through and use it against you. They will also gauge how far they can push you on certain things. Some will violate you because you've been violated. Like, it's the weirdest thing, but it's not something now that I honestly would talk. Like, if I date a guy, it's not something that I'll bring up really soon. Like, I honestly, I can be honest. Like, I'm 49. I used to be a little hot in the pants. Like, it's either two things that's going to happen to you. You're going to be overly sexual or you're not. Yeah. And so now I realize that I need to take my time, get to know a guy, determine if he's even gonna get there. If we're not even gonna get there, it's not even something that I even talk about. So yeah, that's where I'm with that. I've learned that, some will take that and run with it and use it to their advantage, and some will, be more kind and make sure that you're comfortable and make sure they're not doing anything that's going to make you have any, like, be a trigger to you, So it's just one of those things. But now where I'm at this age, I realize it's not something that I just share with men freely. I have to know if you're even going to be worth me taking it to that level. I've been celibate now for like almost like 9-10 months. So if I meet a guy, it's definitely not something that I'm just bringing up.
Yeah, kind of have to fill it out, see.
Yeah.
Yeah. With just your whole experience, how do you feel like your identity is now? Like, how has it shaped your identity?
I just feel like I am a resilient person. It took me a long time to realize that I'm stronger than what I actually think. Like I said, it doesn't define me, but it is a part of me. I view myself as a survivor, not a victim. I'm gonna be real honest. Someone try to violate me, you will see me on the news. I'm busting a cap.
I do the fingers up at all times.
I am busting a cap. You see me on the news, be like, oh, someone to mess with her. That's exactly what happened. I'm strong. I took as long as I can take. I can't take no more. That's where I'm at right now. But I have so many, like I said, it doesn't define me. I realize I'm so talented. I'm very creative. I don't know if it didn't happen to me, if I would be so creative. I don't know. Like, I know I spent a lot of time by myself. So in my time of being alone, I've messed around with little things and concoctions and made things and stuff. So I don't know if it didn't happen to me, if I would be the same Anansa I am today. I'm not sure. Sometimes I used to say, well, I'd rather it didn't happen and we figure out who that Anansa would have been. But that's not life, we don't really have any do-overs. I mean, if I could, I probably definitely wouldn't have want to go through that trauma. Nobody would. And my therapist is trying to get me to a place that I can have some acceptance, and to the point that I can actually laugh at it. And I'm just like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get there. And he's like, maybe not. But, that's just where I am right now as of today. I am who I am. Things have happened to me. It doesn't define me. I do see that I am a strong person. I know I still have some work that I need to do. Some things when it comes to even with men. And we are in the era of the F boys, so I don't know. I don't know.
I can only imagine. Oh.
I don't know. So it makes it even more difficult with dating now. But I'm still here to learn and to still make myself vulnerable to the right guy. I might have like a little shell around me, but I'm a very kind-hearted person, and I know God created me to have that, hard appearance so I could protect myself. You know what I mean? So the people who can penetrate it can, and the people who can't, then they probably weren't meant to get that close to me anyway.
Absolutely. Well, you're a strong, beautiful, resilient person. How
Thank
do you
you.
live confidently, like every single day, no matter what?
I don't know. I don't know. I just live life day to day. I really do. I'm surprised that I didn't even do my eyebrows. I usually do my eyebrows. But I'm in the house and whatnot. But, I get dressed every day like everyone else, and I'm here. I'm just living life. I may not love my job, but I show up to work. I try to make people laugh at work when I can. I know that when I am upset, I can change the whole atmosphere. I can change the mood. I can make everybody get quiet. I'm aware of that. And my therapist was telling me in my session that I have more power than I know. So I was just like, I didn't really think of that. But I just try to, embrace me. I dress sometimes a little different, but I am who I am, So I just say, if there's nobody else like Anansa, there's no one else like me, no one else who's gonna have my style, no one else who's gonna do certain things the way I do it. And that's okay, because God created me to be me. And I think that's the attitude that I try to have every day, from the way that I dress, the way that I talk, the way I do my hair, whatever it is. I just try to say, this is me. This is my spin on it, you know? That helps me get through. Try not to be like everyone else, because at some point when I was younger, I wanted to look like someone else. I wanted to act like someone else. I wanted to be someone else. I wanted to dress like someone else. And I just realized I have my own individual style and grace. And let me be content with that, because someone out there is trying to be like me, you know? And I
That's
realized
true though. Yeah.
that. And I realized that as I got older, like, I do my hair a certain type of way. You come to work the next day, I'm like, what the? I get braces. You want to get braces? Okay, I want to do, you know. So I had to realize that, like, you got your own little swag and all stuff.
Flip your hair.
Exactly, right?
Yes. That's awesome though. Everybody was created to be themselves, and I think we all
Right.
can forget that when we look on social media, especially in just like this generation as a whole. We have to be ourselves every day.
Right.
What would you want the woman who's watching this to take from the interview with you, or just, you know, experience in general, if not taking anything else?
I would say to really enjoy life. At the end of the day, you know, my story may not be their story, but, you know, I want to say at least 3 near-death experiences. And I remember the last time, it was last year, Super Bowl Sunday, when it was happening. And I remember, as I couldn't talk, I couldn't move, or whatever the case was, and I was praying. And I was praying, you know, all throughout my life, I had questioned about Jesus. But at that moment, I was praying to Jesus, okay? So at that moment, I realized I believe in Jesus.
Yeah.
But I was saying, I was like, wow, this is hell. Not living to your full potential, not really trying to fulfill your dreams and your goals. And like, if you die short of that, that's your hell. That's what it felt like at that moment for me.
So,
Like, I knew I had more to do, and I knew if I left this earth, I would be in hell because of that. Not because I believed in God or Jesus or anything. And I was like, no, that would be my hell. So I try to tell people, enjoy life. Try to fulfill your dreams. The things that you think are stupid and it's your dream, still go after them, because there is a market for whatever anybody wants to do in this world. There really, really is. It may not be easy. It's definitely going to be hard, right? It just will, because nothing is easy in life. But definitely go after your dreams and goals, no matter what has happened to you, no matter where you came from, no matter who your parents are, no matter who your siblings are, no matter what your circumstance is. Definitely live life every day to its fullest. Be your best self, and yeah, go after what's yours. And you will feel, even if it's just a little bit, some type of satisfaction. You'll feel that. Definitely. Yeah.
that's like, oh no, you just got me caught over. But that was so deep, that just saying like hell is just not fulfilling your purpose, or just fulfilling what you feel like you want to do in life.
Yeah.
I would like to know how you're living your purpose, and also how we can connect with you after this interview.
Sure. So right now, like I said before, I work in local government, working with the homeless population. I went to school for psychology and whatnot, but that is not my passion. My passion is making body products, you know, body butters, body scrubs, body oils, stuff like that. I also love making, do I have it over here? I had made something last night. I don't know where I put it. It was some crystals, because I wrapped crystals and stuff. I like doing that as well. I had made a bracelet. I don't know where I put it. Also, I went to hair school about 10 years ago, so I still dabble in that, making wigs and stuff. I'm very artsy and creative, so I try to implement that in my life day to day in some fashion or form, because if I'm just waking up and going to work every day, I'm going to be miserable. So, and I realize that, like, you have to have an outlet. And yeah, so like I said, I have my product line is called Bougie Brooklyn Girl. And the reason why I even came up with that name is because growing up, people used to always call me Bougie. When I moved to the DMV area and I met people, they would call me Bougie. And then I don't know if you can hear my Brooklyn accent, but when I first moved here, it was so strong, which is fine because I'm from New York. But it's the reason why I came up with that name. And then the wrap jewelry, it's the Kimaada Collection. I use the Kimaada, means genuine. It's my Swahili name. When I was online, I'm in a sorority. So I used everything, that kind of defines me, and use that as like my business names and stuff like that.
Love it, love it. Where can we get your products? And
Huh?
where can we get your products and follow you on social
Yes.
media?
You can get my products at bougiebrooklynGirlLLC.com. You can follow Bougie Brooklyn Girl LLC on Instagram. The Kimaada Collection is on Instagram as well, and it's KIMAADA Collection.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for this interview. You have such
Thank you.
a spirit, just your
Oh,
story.
thank you
I
so
really,
much.
really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And also, you see up here, I have my vision board. I wake up to that.
I saw it. I was gonna ask you that. You gotta look at it every night, right?
Every night I look at it.